Ancient queens' lives were never boring. Queen of Sheba. One exception to the trend of missing queens was the Queen of Sheba, one of the few queens who appears in the Bible. But this fine lady, compared to her contemporaries, was fairly anodyne. Legend has it that she arrived in Jerusalem with a caravan full of bling, presenting her gifts to King Solomon and testing his legendary wisdom with some tough questions and conundrums. Oh, and she also had hairy legs about which Solomon reprimanded her. This is 2,000 years before hair removal creams and seems a bit rude when she has just gifted him a huge pile of gold and spices. Helen of Troy. The Trojan War offers us rich regal pickings. Helen of Troy is probably known to us all in some form. The ultimate female beauty, often celebrated on film. She was known as the face that launched 1,000 ships. She has been depicted in art since the 7th century BCE. Abduction and seduction are always in fashion, and by the time of the pre-Raphaelites, painters could not, it seems, keep their brushes off her. Above, Evelyn de Morgan represents Helen in a pretty pink gown gazing into her own reflection. Isn't this how we think of Helen of Troy? A ravishing beauty to who things happened rather than a conjurer of disasters herself. Without agency of her own, Helen was a plaything of the gods, as it was Aphrodite who gave her as a reward to Paris, the son of King Priam. Even though she, Helen, was queen of Sparta and already married to Menelaus. Helen's sister was called Clytemnestra. She was rather more active in the downfall of men and cities than her sister. She was married to Menelaus's brother, the king of Mycenae, who had only become involved in the Trojan War to protect his brother's honor. Both these sisters usurped their husband's power, but in different ways. Clytemnestra's rebellion was triggered most horribly, when Agamemnon sacrificed their daughter Iphigenia to the gods in order to get fair winds to sail his fleet of ships to Troy. Hecuba. Still focused on Troy, Hecuba is another fascinating character. Queen of Troy, wife to Priam, mother to Hector, Cassandra, and Achilles, and some 15 other children besides. After Troy's fall, Hecuba is enslaved by Odysseus, but when her youngest son is murdered by King Polymestor, she goes mad and blinds the murdering king and then murders his 2 sons. In another version, the gods turn her into a mad dog, but the legend of Hecuba has to wait until the late Baroque period before it is committed to canvas by Giuseppe Maria Crespi. Cassandra. Cassandra is the daughter of Hecuba and Priam, Troy's version of the Princess Royal. Prophetess and prone to hallucinations, not to mention bouts of hysteria, she foresees the outcome of Paris's abduction of Helen and warns that Troy will fall in battle. But labeled a hysterical female, she is not listened to. She hides in the temple for safety, clinging to a statue of Athena. But she is found and raped by a warrior called Ajax the Lesser. Sadly, Cassandra's astonishing gift of prophecy and her despair at never being believed seem of less interest to artists than the scene of brutal rape, which has been recorded repeatedly since early times. Below, we see the mural of Cassandra found in the Casa del Menandro, Pompeii. If our long-term content resonates with you, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.